If you've followed my blog or my channel for any period of time, you know that I have had beagles, dogs, in my life for a long time. I married into a family that had dogs, so 18 years ago, a little over 18 years ago, I had a dog in my life for the very first time since I was like a toddler. My dad had wanted a dog, and they had one for a very brief period of time, but it would knock me over and take food out of my mouth. So my parents decided that their child was more important than a pet. My dad called me last night to tell me that they have decided to have their dog euthanized. And even though she isn't one of mine, um, I think it hurts because it's an end to an era of my life. Last May, when my last dog died, she helped me cope with losing him, and the last 15 months gave me an opportunity to show that I had learned how to be a better dog dad, or dog uncle, I guess, in her case, and pay her attention and show her affection and give her the best gifts I could, the gift of my time and attention, because that's really the only gifts we can give are when we give of ourselves, give of things that we can't get back. Money and presents aren't gifts, they're excuses for gifts. And I got to prove over the last several months that I had learned and was able to, show through the way I treated her that I had grown as a person and that I was capable of being all the things I wished I had been with my dog. But the era comes to an end as we bury her. They're going to put her down just after I leave here from work. And then we'll bury her, and tomorrow will dawn the first day of my life with no dogs. It's very strange because I never intended to have a pet. And I never expected a pet would become a friend, that a pet would be as valuable as they were. I wrote in February of 2018 on my blog that I had an unhealthy attachment to my dogs. My dogs showed me what it was like to be loved and to have someone in my life that I loved and wanted to care about and sacrifice for. And when I came home from burying my dog in May, it was not a home anymore, and there was a different silence than there had ever been before. I think it's also ironic and a little annoying that it's on a Friday. Most people love Fridays. They can't wait for Friday to come. I hate Friday. The woman I loved wrote me on a Friday and told me that she couldn't be with me and never wanted to talk to me again. Last year, my dog died while I was at work on Friday. This year, even though she might still be alive when I get there, she won't be for long, and it's a Friday. Fridays have become associated with painful things. Every Friday means another week since that happened. Not everything that's bad happens on a Friday. It's just that some of the most painful pieces of loss occurred on a Friday. I was reading a Jordan Peterson article a couple of weeks back on death and loss and how it changes you. And he reaffirmed that based on their observations of people, that when something important in your life goes away, when someone who's important dies, a piece of you really does die. And eventually enough of you is dead that from the sorrow and the grief and the loss, you can die too. I remember something I wrote when the woman I loved left. People come into our lives only for a season, and sometimes that season is shorter than we like. I got a lot more time than I should have with my dog. I got the right about the right amount of time with this dog. I was hoping for another year, just arbitrarily, just so that You know, Yoda was 12, my dog was 16. Hey, let's make it 14 and make her average in between. But that was arbitrary, and I want what's best for her. It's not my decision to make, and it's not my life. I don't have to live with it. I just have to deal with the loss. She's come to mean a lot more in my life since my dog died than I ever expected, than I ever anticipated. But I am very, 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 very grateful for the love of dog, the love of my dogs, and that I have this time. I have pictures and videos of her, some of her most renowned and pleasant antics, not because I knew she was dying, but because I was enjoying and capturing the moments and taking the opportunity when I could to seize them, to document them, and to remember them. And so I have lots of things to give to my parents with this dog to help them remember. Not because I knew that she was going to die soon. I mean, I knew soon, I thought by next fall. But not because I knew it was imminent like I did with mine. I didn't get a wake-up call, a chance to reaffirm and reattempt. I just did it, and I'm glad that I've been able to learn. They say that repeating a mistake means it's not a mistake, that improving on your behavior shows that you have made a mistake, that you've recognized it, and that you have rehabilitated yourself and repented and become a better person. And so I'm glad that I can look back and go, hey, I did that. She was fine up until the 4th of July weekend, and then she went rapidly downhill, and I just assumed it was because it was July, because I'm pretty lethargic, and sometimes I lose my appetite in July, except for things I shouldn't be eating, like donuts and Cheetos. I was in denial. I wasn't ready to say goodbye to another dog, to the last dog. But I have good memories of her, too, and I'm grateful. She came over for a sleepover in March, just before the lockdown started. But the most important thing is that during this quarantine, she was my only physical contact. We're not supposed to touch each other. We're supposed to shelter in place. And to protect and respect my parents, I didn't hug them or get close to them. But she would lick my face because dogs couldn't get coronavirus. And so there was physical touch and contact and love and affection. And it was a great blessing in a dark time. We sometimes talk about God's mercy and his tender mercies and the blessings that we receive. And I count that as one of mine, that she was there so that there was somebody physically tangible for me to touch that I loved. Because without that, maybe like some of you, there would have been nobody around, nobody to touch, nobody to feel, nobody to be close to. So I had that, and I'm very grateful. I know I said before when my dog died, if you have another dog, love it, get close to it. I did that with this one, and I'm grateful for that. It is not any easier to say goodbye to her than it was to say goodbye to mine, except that we didn't live together. So there won't be the same kind of memory ghosts. But they're still part of my family, my dog family. And with her death, an era comes to a close of 18 years with dogs. We picked her up almost 13 years ago. I came to Vegas 13 years ago next Friday. And we picked her up like 8 weeks later. So she was born around the time I moved here. And she's been here as long as I've been here. And we picked her up on my way back to start working here. So for almost all the time I've been here, she's been part of my life, and it's weird as the things that you know and love and remember go away. And as you look at your face and realize that the years and the loss are weathering on you, killing you softly. But in the December of my life, I'll have warm memories. And wherever dogs go, I know she won't be alone. She'll have friends there who'll be glad to see her. My dog will be happy to run full speed around the yard like they used to together. She couldn't keep up, but it was fun to watch them playing with each other, taking care of each other, and it was fun. And they'll finally be together again, wherever dogs go. And that's where I want to go. That's where they are. Love and joy and happiness. Thank you, Lord, for the love of dogs, the love of my dogs. Thanks for everything. I had a wonderful time.